What's up everyone, and welcome to another episode of Kelvin's Garage. Now I have a quick little video for you today. I have a very important message for you. Something awful happened to me the other day while I was driving in my car on the freeway. My car was vandalized, okay? The Civic was vandalized. Now I don't know if this has ever happened to you guys, and it doesn't happen to me too often, but you know, when you live in a big city like San Francisco, something is bound to happen, okay? Someone out there is going to, try to mess you up, try to do something to your car for no apparent reason, all right? And you're just going to end up being a victim, being in the wrong time, in the wrong place. And this time it was me. So it was a peaceful Saturday afternoon, and I was driving home from the gym on the freeway, 280 northbound in San Francisco. And as I was driving, I don't know if you guys have ever noticed those little walkways above the freeway that basically allow pedestrians to cross from one side of the freeway to another. But there are a few of those in San Francisco, and basically this walkway, which stretches across the freeway, they're usually empty actually, okay? People don't really use them that often. But every now and then you're going to see one of these bridges, and you're going to see, one or two people maybe walking across it, innocently, right? So as I was driving northbound on the freeway, I noticed there was a dude, all right? There was some kind of a dude or somebody up there. I didn't know what they were doing, there's a fence, obviously, so that they don't fall out. There's some kind of a barrier. But there basically is a dude. And I noticed that, okay, there's a dude, right? And, maybe they were doing something, whatever. But as I was passing under the bridge, I suddenly heard it. Thunk. Okay, this huge thunk on my car, okay, huge thunk. So I started getting worried. I was like, oh my God, am I that person, okay? Am I that victim? Am I that 1 in 1,000 victim of circumstance, okay? So I pulled over, I looked at my car, okay, inspected it to see if anything was damaged, and well, I'll let you be the judge, okay? I found something very upsetting. Alright, so let me show you guys what I'm talking about. So this is the rock damage that the Civic sustained when some fool threw a rock off of the freeway overpass walkway. And you can see here that, I don't know if it was one rock or multiple rocks, but you can see here that the damage is pretty severe, okay? It's pretty severe. Now this hood isn't brand new, but I had an incident a couple years ago. But you can see that these are some pretty deep welts that these rocks caused. Now I don't know if it was one rock or multiple rocks, but there's more than one damage point here. You can see it landed here, okay, and that one's pretty deep. You can see that, you see the reflection. Landed here, and this one was very serious. So maybe it bounced around. I don't know how you create dents like this through rocks, but when you're going 65 miles an hour, lots of things can happen. Okay, but you can see here that the dent here, it even chipped off all the paint, went down to the metal. So I'm gonna have to do something like spray that with something just to protect it in the meantime. And then there's another one here that isn't quite through the paint, but almost. Okay, and then there's another one here, okay, so this one is through the paint. There's like a scratch mark here, and you can see it just kind of cuts right through. Okay, and I also have a little bit on the fender here, so I don't know if that bounced off and ricocheted off somehow. But this chip is also new. This was not there before. Okay, so you guys can see in the reflection here how serious these welts are from the stupidity of someone to think it's some kind of a game to throw rocks off of a freeway overpass. And you can see these are pretty dented, pretty deep into the hood. I don't know if I'm ever going to fix this or not, but you can see here that these are some sizable damage points. You could replace the hood, you can have this pounded out or something. In any case, it's a lot of unnecessary work that happened as a result of misfortune and stupidity from living in a city where people just do random things like destroy stuff. Okay, so let's take a look under the hood to see if we can actually spot that damage area from the other side. So we're gonna open our hood here and take a look from under. Okay, so we can't see it. All right, we cannot see it. It's being hidden by under this frame piece right here. This the inner shell of the hood. All right, the reinforced part. So we won't be able to see it. You know, it's right around here, okay, on this side here, okay, and basically inaccessible from the other side. So the only way to really fix this would be to pull it out from the top side and just fill it in, repaint. Okay, but again, I don't know if I'm gonna do that. It costs a lot of money. The car still runs fine, and you know, it's kind of old now, so it may not be worth fixing it. But you can see here that that's the unfortunate circumstances of living in the city with a lot of chaos happening, especially in this day and age. Okay, take a look at that again. Look how deep it is. Primer, paint is just gone, you know, completely flaked off by that rock. This one, huge cut. This one not through the paint, but almost there. But in any case, a huge welt. So basically, this dude, it turns out that he threw a rock or something, a rock or rocks or I don't know how many, but a pretty sizable rock, all right? Threw it through the fence. Okay, I remember, you know, in retrospect, that his arm was outstretched, but he threw a rock or multiple rocks, I'm not sure, and it landed right on my car, okay, right smack on my car. You know, and I was probably traveling around 65 to 70 miles an hour. And, you know, at those speeds, anything, even a small pebble, is going to create some kind of damage, okay? So the dude happened to throw this rock, and I was the unfortunate victim of this pretty much senseless vandalism, senseless crime of getting a rock thrown at me while on the freeway. Fortunately, it was just on the hood and not anywhere else, right? But it landed right on the hood. You know, actually, it chipped a little bit of the fender, okay, so that's not good either. But it landed right smack on the hood, a huge dent, okay, because this is, again, freeway speeds. So it's as if a rock was thrown at my car at 70 miles an hour, all right? So because my car is moving 70 miles an hour, and this rock is coming down and just landing right on top of it. Okay, so that's 70 miles an hour of force landing right on my car, creating this huge welt in the hood. Okay, it's not one of those little things you're just going to buff out or Bondo out or, you know, even just do a little chip repair. It is pretty much dented for good, okay? And maybe there's a way to pop it out. You know, you can use one of those dent pullers or some other means to pop it out, but it would need repaint to fix it. You know, it needs some kind of finishing, some body filler, etc. Okay, but basically my hood is damaged. You know, I'm very displeased with it. This hood was repainted maybe a couple years ago. I had it replaced, and so to get it replaced now is pretty much financially not feasible. All right, it doesn't make sense to replace a hood or even repair it because you know, there's this huge ding. I have other dings in my car too, so you know, it's not like I'm trying to make it perfect looking, but it's just really upsetting because the hood was pretty clean. Okay, it was pretty clean, and now these huge 3 welts on my car. All right, and this is just a pretty stupid act, you know, I have to say. I don't know why people do this in San Francisco, but I have some thoughts on that. Okay, so if you look at this photo here, you'll be able to see from Google Maps, I've pulled it up, what I'm talking about. So there are one of those air bridges, okay, one of those air bridges that connect one side of the freeway to another. All right, pretty common here in SF. You know, they're pretty old too. They're not like, you know, some new thing they invented, but they're pretty old and not too well used, especially the ones that are pedestrian only. Okay, so the ones that have cars driving over it, those have cars and pedestrians, and I think they're used quite frequently. But the ones that are pedestrian only, they're a little bit scary even to walk across. But you can see here that this is the type of thing I'm talking about. Usually there's some kind of a fence that covers both sides, okay? And, you know, I think because of this kind of vandalism thing, they've tried to decrease the size of the hole. Okay, so the mesh on the fence would actually be smaller and smaller, so you can't even stick your hand through it. But there are some of the older ones where they haven't been retrofitted. You can still throw a sizable rock or a sizable object through the hole. And that's exactly what happened, you know, this time. And as I said, you know, you're passing through at 70 miles an hour. You don't even know where the entryway for this walkway is. So let's say you get knocked, right? Let's say you know, some dude wants to cause some trouble, throws a rock, you know, hits someone in your car or hits your car or damages something or maybe even hurts somebody. How are you going to find that person? Okay, even if I exited, then I have to double back, search, the map for where this, the staircase is that goes to this bridge is. Then I have to go all the way over there, park, and then run after the person. By that time, it's, it's minutes, right? It's a lot of minutes, okay, because I have to exit the freeway first, right? So that's just too much time. And then the other option is, okay, I can report this, okay? But what am I going to report? Who am I going to report it to? Do you think the police is actually going to do something? I mean, let's be honest here. I mean, I can go to the police report. They probably don't even want me to file a report. Okay, and that's happened to me in the past too, where the crime is so small that they don't even want to bother with it. They don't even want to bother with it. It's more paperwork, and really, there's no outcome. Okay, and it's kind of sad, but that is the state of affairs, nowadays here in San Francisco. So really, you're out of luck. I mean, you just have to take the loss. Just live with it or fix it on your own, and that's really all you can do. If you have full coverage, maybe you can get it repaired. I don't know if vandalism is a part of the insurance, but yeah, you could do it that way. But really, there's no traceability. I can't go back and find the person or hold them accountable. It's very, very difficult for this kind of thing. So first of all, it's upsetting, right? But second of all, I started to think to myself, okay, well, it's not worse, all right? It's not worse than what it is. It's my car. Of course, I like it. It's a precious possession of mine. I use it to get about and, daily driving and, just doing my daily business. But it's not life or death, okay? It's not life or death. And I started to think about, why do people do this, right? What is the reason that people feel the need to do something like throw a rock off a freeway overpass? What does that mean? What is the psychology behind that, basically, is what I started to ask myself. Is there some kind of a sick, sensation they get out of it? Some sick pleasure that people get out of just, harming other people's stuff, damaging other people's property? I mean, obviously, I'm a complete stranger, right? A completely unknown victim to this crime, right? And so the person just took aim, went up there, took aim, threw the rock off, maybe he was aiming for my car as I passed through, but clearly, there is no real motive other than and giggles, I guess, right? So I mean, whatever reason they did that, I mean, that's what they get out of it. Maybe they can just run off and feel accomplished. I don't know if that's a goal of a kind, right? But I think it's really dumb, and I think it's really sad that, especially in a big city like San Francisco, and I'm sure if you've read the news, you'll have heard how San Francisco is going, right? It's kind of going in a little downtrend here. But, and, for petty crimes, they don't arrest people. They don't, they don't charge anybody. And that's just how it is. There's windows broken on a daily basis. My other vehicle had its windows shattered 2 times within 2 months. And my girlfriend's window got shattered recently too. But maybe I'll make another video on that in the future. But San Francisco has become like this, okay? So I was counting my blessings that it's not worse, all right? It could have, gone through the windshield, right? So the windshield is probably not too bad to replace, but there's another caveat to that, and I don't know if you've ever read about this type of crime. There is a chance that rock could have gone through the windshield and killed me, right? So I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but it has happened in the past where somebody did a very similar crime. They threw a rock off of an overpass thinking, hey, this is a fun game, and if I hit somebody, then woohoo, that's points, right? But it turns out that this has happened before where a rock has come through the windshield, or maybe it's a convertible or something, and it actually has either injured somebody severely, okay, caused damage. I think the article that I read was brain damage, actually. So it's either brain damage or it could actually kill somebody, okay? Kill somebody, right? Because you're going 70 miles an hour and a rock is hitting your car, right? Let's imagine I had no roof. I was in a convertible. 70 miles an hour rock hitting you on the head, that's definitely going to do some harm right there. Okay, so like I said, I counted my blessings and I thought, okay, it's not worse than that. I don't feel too bad, but I just wish it didn't happen like that. And whoever's out there, doing this sort of thing, I mean, the thought did cross my mind, I'm not going to do any kind of vigilante justice or anything, right? I know some of you guys are very passionate about this, and I'm thinking, had that person hit me, and if I were some kind of a person who was intent on, taking out some vigilante justice, I would have chased them, right? But in general, I'm a peaceful person, right? But the thought crossed my mind that this is kind of a weird and, almost like a, uncatchable crime, like I wouldn't call it the perfect crime, but, it's one of those things where, I'm moving at a high speed, right? So, and that person's like way back there now by the time I figured out what happened. So how am I going to catch them, right? And who am I going to report it to, right? If I circle back, they're already gone. All right, the only chance of catching someone like that is if they do it again, okay? And I know exactly where they are. So like I said, it's one of those senseless crimes, really not catchable, especially in a place like San Francisco where they don't care about stuff like that, minor stuff. And, I just think it's unfortunate. And I just hope that, people out there, retain their civil decency, civil dignity, and don't do stupid stuff like that, because it could lead to something very serious, right? Very serious, more than just damaging a car. Okay, so now that you've seen the damage, now I did take a couple minutes and went online to check out how much it would cost to fix this thing. Now, the only thing I looked for was basically a replacement. I don't know how much it would be just for repaint, maybe just a couple $100, but just for entertainment purposes, I looked up how much does it cost to get a hood replaced. Okay, and it turns out that these days, what you can do is you can buy these pre-painted body panels. All right, and the hood is one of those pre-painted body panels. And what they do is that they would actually get the hood, okay, probably, I don't know if it's a new one or maybe a aftermarket one, and they would actually paint it according to the body color code from the manufacturer. So it should be exactly 100% legit. And what they'll do is then they'll ship the entire part to you already painted. All right. So this is different from, back in the day when what you would have to do is take it to a body shop. They'll order the part and then they'll paint it in the shop. Okay. And, this is kind of a clever way to do body repair business, I think, because, the paint is already done. It's already on the part. And you don't really have, you can kind of do it yourself, okay? This is really a means to DIY your own body panel repair, because the body panel has already been prepped properly, painted properly, and then all you need to do is remove the old one and install a new one, okay? But I thought this was a really good idea. Of course, it's a little bit out of the budget, so I'm not going to do it. But for those of you who have experienced something similar, just know that there are ways to DIY your body panel repair. I've done it on the bumper in the past, okay, so I know it's actually a pretty good and legit method to get a pre-painted body panel part and install it yourself. All right, guys, so you tell me what you thought about this video. Has your car ever been vandalized? Have you ever just been some unfortunate victim? I don't know, maybe a hit and run or something, or, somebody scratched your car just out of hate, I don't know, just out of anger, jealousy, whatever it is. Have you ever been in a situation where some random person just damages your car for no apparent reason, and then basically it's your loss? I don't know. You guys let me know what you think about why people do this. Like I said, I have my certain theories about, I don't know, envy, social envy, I don't know what it is, or just maybe just getting a kick out of, doing harm, doing damage. Maybe they're bored, that seems to be a thing these days, where if you're just bored, you just do stuff like this. I could list a million different better things to do with your time, but some people find this as a form of entertainment, a game, so to speak. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time on Kelvin's Garage.